Hello from Hawaii, this JW here. Believe it or not, 20 years later, I am finally back to a luau in Hawaii. 20 years ago, I won my first company trip. I was 21 years old back then, and my practice company sent me to Hawaii and attended my first luau. And 20 years later, I'm back to a luau, and as a matter of fact, I'm back to the chief luau, which is one of the best luau in Hawaii. I want to share with you the differences between 20 years ago and 20 years later. 20 years ago, I was making $100,000 my first year in the insurance business, which is absolutely amazing. It blew my mind out 20 years ago when I started the insurance business, knew nothing about business. Simply with hard work, I was able to crack my first six-figure income my first year in the business. Let me share with you the main difference 20 years later. 20 years later, I am now making over $100,000 a week. Listen to that. Over $100,000 a week. Compared to 20 years ago, I was only making $100,000 a year. So people might want to find out, how did you do it? What was the main difference? Let me share with you what was the main difference. The difference was 20 years ago, I was constantly focusing on what works. And 20 years later, the reason why I'm making so much more money now is because I realized it is not about what works. It is about what duplicates. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. Before, I was constantly focusing on being that perfect salesperson, being perfect. Everything that I did, it was not very duplicable to anybody else because I was constantly wanting to become the best in my organization. I didn't want anybody to surpass me. Therefore, everything I was doing was not duplicable. So sometimes talents slow you down. Sometimes being smart actually stopping you to get to that next level. And as I progressed in my career, I realized one thing. If you want to become wealthy, it's not about what works. It's about what duplicates. And later on, I started to simplify everything I was doing. As I was developing leaders in my company, I made it very simple. I want to make sure my guys, when they look at me, everything that I was doing, they can also do. Everything that I was leading, everything that I was showing was something that they say, wow, if JW can do it, I can do it as well. So remember, if you want to make good money, focus on what works. If you want to make a fortune, focus on what duplicates. All right? Guys, I'm going to enjoy my show here, and I got invited, a few friends with me here and some of the leaders from my company, and I'm going to enjoy my night tonight. All right, guys, I hope you got my message. Bye. Take care. See you next time.